What would you do if there were a murderer in your neighborhood and the police were doing nothing about it? What would you do if the murderer was in a neighborhood nearby or even a mile away and the police weren't doing anything about it? Well, you'd be incensed, just like I would. You'd insist that the police go and get the murderer, and if the murderer didn't want to come peacefully, well, then you kill the murderer, right? I mean, we can't allow murderers to be in this country, in our neighborhoods, anywhere. And so the police, rightfully so, the FBI, the police, track them down and they put them in prison or they kill them if they have to. Well, that same principle, protecting our rights here in America, applies internationally as well. So if you have international murderers, totalitarian regimes, terrorist cells, whatever, then it's the responsibility of the U.S. government to take them out. And so we have Iran, who for 49 years, 50 years, has been exporting terror. They killed thousands of our soldiers during the wars, sometimes surreptitiously, secretly, having Hezbollah or somebody else do the murdering of our soldiers for them. They've poisoned and found other ways to murder people in other countries. They've been doing this for a long time. North Korea also, China, Russia, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, 9/11. This stuff has been going on for decades, and the U.S. government has been doing nothing about it. So I'm going to say something pretty damn controversial to a lot of people, and that is these regimes have to be taken out. And they have to be taken out unilaterally. I mean, we have to do it no matter what France and their baguettes say to us, or what England or Australia or Canada or anybody else, our allies, say. We have to clean up the international neighborhood and get these murderers out of the business of murdering. So Iran now is bombing oil ships. They took out one of our drones here the other day, and they're making veiled threats against the United States. And North Korea, of course, as you know, with that little pig dictator that they've got, was talking about how he could bomb Los Angeles. And we do nothing about it. I mean, it's truly amazing how cowardly, unfortunately, our country has become. And there is not this uprising of people saying that these regimes, not the civilians, the regimes, need to be taken out. I mean, imagine if the murderer in your neighborhood or nearby in an adjacent county or whatever was just allowed to go about his business. That's what people would go crazy. But that's what these regimes are doing. These are not sovereign states, by the way. Iran is not a sovereign state. When you have a faction of criminals take over a country, it's basically an armed, heavily armed mafia taking over a country. And I don't care whether they got elected or not. Most of these are false elections. They just do that for decoration. But as you know, as we all know, Hitler was elected. And he should have been taken out. I mean, if Chamberlain and others, France, England, Chamberlain was in England, obviously, if they had taken out Hitler in the early 30s, well, there would have never been a World War II and a pogrom of 6 million Jews, 1 million gypsies, and 24 million other people during World War II. That happened because of cowardice. When a faction, a totalitarian state forms, you got to take it out. You got to take it down. And the most powerful country in the history of the world can do that. And it should do that. No matter what anybody else says, take them out. So take out Iran, the regime, and its Revolutionary Guard, whatever it's called, take them out. Take out, what's his name, in North Korea. Take him out. I mean, we've got what, 11, 18, however you want to define an aircraft carrier. We've got 11 mega aircraft carriers. Just one of those guys could take out an entire regime. Send 2 or 3 of them into the waters around these countries, take out their entire upper brass military guard, take out the entire government, take out all of its buildings, all the weaponry, all the military bases, and be done with it. And then if we have to, we can do what we did in Japan, and that is take them out, make them surrender unequivocally, and then go in and create a new constitutional government. Look at Japan now. Japan is one of our best allies. They do not start wars. They do not export terror. They have a democratic republic. They're not quite as good as America on that, although America's going downhill, as we all know. Hopefully that's not going to last because of people like you and me. But Japan is great. The people of Iran have already shown that they want this totalitarian regime gone. It's murdering its own citizens. That's not our business. What is our business is that this totalitarian regime is exporting its terror, because that's what they do. That's what murderers do. They export their terror into other neighborhoods, into other cities, counties, and states. They can't help themselves. That they could, but they can't, but they won't. And the same thing with totalitarians. So we need to take them out. We need to do that right now. Trump backing off of attacking Iran is unconscionable. I mean, seriously, I already had reservations about him. I voted for him. I've liked many things that he's done. But I've got major reservations now. I mean, I really don't even know what principles the guy's got. Seriously. You got to take, and a couple of strikes that he was planning that may have killed 150 people or whatever, that's not good enough. You got to take these guys out. You got to take out the people who are instigating this stuff. Sanctions and stuff is weak. It's cowardly. Got to wipe them out. Frankly, wipe out the Saudi Arabia regime, the Pakistani regime, the Chinese regime. Take out that brand new, spanking new aircraft carrier that China's got. Try not to kill as many of the soldiers as possible, seriously. I mean, these guys are the grunts. Take out the command structure. Don't sink the aircraft carrier. Just make it to where we take it over. I mean, really. I mean, I got sympathy for the grunts on the ground. So try to take out as few soldiers as possible. Just take out the command structure. But you got to go in and you got to do it. The only place where this becomes dicey is Russia. Unfortunately, because of appeasement, we allowed Russia and Stalin to gain, 7,000 nuclear weapons? So we can't take out the Russian regime. That's just a fact. We can't do it. Not right now. Not unless we get some better technology that completely wipe out their entire nuclear infrastructure. But we can put major sanctions on them and cripple them, financially cripple them, which is sort of what happened with Reagan and Gorbachev and everything in the late 1980s. They financially just collapsed. So we could do that with Russia. But everybody else, China, Iran, Pakistan, North Korea, Venezuela, I mean, all of these totalitarian states, take them out. And make it to where U.S. citizens won't have to worry when they travel the world. That's what all of this comes down to, is individual rights of American citizens. That's the only responsibility of the U.S. government domestically and in foreign affairs. Make it safe for U.S. citizens to go anywhere. Anywhere in the world. Egypt, you want to go look at the pyramids? You don't have to worry about the Egyptian government anymore, folks. We took it out. We installed a democratic constitutional republic. It is now operating just like Japan. Go visit the pyramids. Go visit the Mesopotamian artifacts in Iraq and Iran. They're lovely and gorgeous, what the Persians did. Just amazing stuff, ornate. Now you can do it. Why? Because the U.S. grabbed its brass cojones and took out the bad boys. So that's what we need to do for the individual rights of American citizens as they're traveling around the world, and get rid of these countries, the regimes that exist now, and export their terror. So let's do it now and make the world a free, fun, traveling place. Catch y'all next time.